you alone, they said. The Black Night in the White House is the title of a book that will be put out by the participants who were here during that night in the editorial offices. This newspaper, which comes out in only 150,000 copies. TASS has reported a communication from Internal Minister Barannikov expressing his gratitude for those forces who avoided violence during the coup. He said that those who participated in the coup will be held strictly responsible for their actions. The minister appealed to all honest people in the interior forces, appealing to them not to allow any illegal activity or violence on the people,
либо над теми, кто не нашел мужества в суровый момент испытаний возвысить голос протеста против организаторов переворота. Нами должно двигаться.
We must not be governed by emotion, but by a struggle for justice, he said, and everyone should be prosecuted only in a legal way, and everyone's human rights should be defended, and processes carried out only in a constitutional and legal way. We are guaranteed the support of the Soviet president, the executive and legislative bodies of the center, and the republics. People believe us, and no one doubts that the personal staff of the Interior Ministry will deal with these events in an honorable way, says Minister Barannikov. The transfer of the Interior Ministry and the KGB of the Uzbek Republic was transferred to the control of the local Uzbek government. Internal forces of the Interior Ministry, which are deployed on the territory of the Republic, in accordance with an order of the Uzbek president, are transferred to the subordination of the Republican government. A document is being prepared declaring the independence of the Republic, which will be considered at the coming session of the Republican Parliament. From Riga, we hear that the activity of the elite OMON Special Forces troops will be suspended. A delegation from the Latvian Republic met with President Yeltsin, and other interior security forces met in Moscow. The Lithuanian government will propose to the Cabinet of Ministers of the USSR by August 29th a proposal for establishing diplomatic and consular relations with Western European countries and with the USSR and Russia. Lithuania will also begin negotiations with Belarus on relations with that neighboring republic. The first ambassador of Denmark left Copenhagen en route to the Baltic republics today. Today in Reykjavik, there was an official ceremony of the Baltic foreign ministers and the Icelandic foreign minister, creating officially diplomatic relations between these countries. The Icelandic ambassador to Sweden will also act as ambassador to the Baltic republics. The ambassadors from Latvia and Estonia will work in Copenhagen. In accordance with the recent declarations of independence from Lithuania and Estonia, Poland declared its intention to establish normal diplomatic relations, said Foreign Minister Kubiszewski. The Minister of Foreign Affairs of France, Mr. Dumas, in an interview on television said that France is ready to and prepared to create diplomatic relations with the Baltic republics. The Minister of Foreign Affairs of Germany, Genscher, appealed for the acceptance of the USSR as a full member in the IMF and the World Bank. In order to open the path to a market economy, the Soviets should have access to international financial bodies. The President of China arrived in Mongolia for the historic visit to discuss the preservation of peace in Asia. There were negotiations today between the Chinese representative and the President of Mongolia on questions of mutual interests. In Kampuchea, the highest legislative body of the country met in session today. The powers of this body, chosen in 1981 for a period of 5 years, have already long ago expired, but it is still working. The deputies have extended their terms by themselves. National democratic elections should be held with foreign observers to overcome the crisis in Cambodia. The opposing sides in this political struggle have moved closer together in recent days. There is a ceasefire and a moratorium on foreign military aid. Representatives of all the factions are becoming more active in the efforts to end the civil war and the creation of a democratic, neutral Cambodia. The session of the Parliament also considered important internal questions, including the military situation, national security, and social order. Laws were adopted on the state budget, foreign currency, pensions for war veterans, and other issues. President Salinas proposed a new program recently to overcome poverty in the country. Resources for these programs are coming from privatization of state enterprises. 2.5 million poor people have gotten the opportunity to receive medical treatment, and 3 million have drinking water in their homes as a result of this. Before, we had all kinds of different programs, none of which was ever followed through to the end because people didn't think of them as their own. The Solidaria program will include the interests of all Mexicans for the sake of the development of the society. There is an extraordinary event happening in the country. In this situation, we believe that the problems that we are talking about now demand our close attention. I would like to appeal to all television viewers, to people's deputies, to the government. Even in this situation, we must not forget that there are people with disabilities here, people who are cast aside, people who have been left without attention. People are starving. And today, we asked the deputies to give a letter from our fund to the Russian Vice President, Alexander Rutskoy, with our request to pay attention to us. We have advocated a legislative initiative We include this proposal in our letter to the Vice President of Russia. We ask for the support of our legislative program and demand amendments to the law on people with disabilities and to improve the Russian law on people with disabilities. I'm sorry that I appeal to you television viewers at this difficult hour, but people with disabilities are awaiting your help, and I hope you will help us. Please call us at 480-8182. We will give you the address of our office and the number of our bank account. Today, a Russian emigre exposition was opened in Moscow. The documents speak in a passionless language, but the